Hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to another empowering episode of Pep Talks with Megan De La Concha. I am so thrilled that you guys are tuning in again, or maybe for the first time. This is amazing. I'm glad that you're here. And I really hope that this episode not only blesses you today, but if you are brand new, I hope that you get a chance to go ahead and listen to some past episodes because we have been on a really amazing journey, especially lately in the past few episodes, talking about habits that support your life, talking about mindset, talking about the relationship with yourself. So I'm super excited to bring to you today's episode, which focuses on a actual habit and an actionable item that you can build. So I know the past few episodes we have talked about, like I said, habits and creating different habits. And I'm going to share one of my habits with you today that actually builds resilience because let's face it, it is so easy to say you need confidence or, you need to have resilience, but that's not something that you just get overnight. We did not become this insecure, unfulfilled human being overnight. So it's certainly not going to change overnight, but we can start tonight, right? So it really takes for transformation to begin a true want to. Like a deep down, I am so sick of living this life unfulfilled. I'm so sick of being insecure about these dumb little things. I know I'm better than that. I am so sick of being this way when I know I'm meant for more. And I am willing to do whatever it takes to make this transformation. That is the mindset that you really have to be in order for transformation to occur. And the two supporting pillars, if you will, that help support transformation and help facilitate transformation is confidence and resilience. But again, it's not just a flower that blooms overnight. There is no confidence fairy, there's no resilience fairy that flies in and sprinkles you with confidence dust or resilience dust. It just doesn't happen. It is something that we have to work on every single day. But that's where the problem lies because not a lot of us understand what it is that we have to work on to build confidence and resilience. And a lot of times it's already things that we're doing. For instance, habits. When we talked a few weeks ago about habits that are either supporting the life that you want to have or are they supporting the life that you currently have? Because habits can keep you really stuck. And again, it's about awareness. When you're not aware of the things that you're doing that are keeping you stuck, how are you ever going to have the want to or the notion to even want to change it? You're not. So self awareness is at play here as well. And let me tell you, resilience is one of the things that I really had a hard time with. It wasn't honestly until recently, looking back at my life, I knew I was insecure, hands down, without question. I mean, that was literally written all over my face. It was all in my actions. It drove everything I did, every decision I made. It was very apparent that I was very insecure in myself. I had low self-esteem. Um, and I was not truly being my authentic self. But resilience is not really something that you hear a lot about. And when we think of resilience, we think about, what's your bounce back factor? And a lot of times we think of it in really big, big events. As far as, and maybe you're suffering a loss of a loved one, or you're just suffering a loss in your family. Maybe you're suffering a loss of your own. You're going through a huge traumatic divorce. Maybe you're going through a custody battle. Maybe you're switching careers. We are in the middle of a pandemic that is rapidly coming, the second wave or the third wave. I think this is officially the second wave is really coming through very hard, and it's around the holidays. I mean, if resilience isn't a key word of 2020, I don't know what is. among everything, and not just the pandemic, but the racial injustice that we have all experienced, watching, and community suffering and family suffering, and a lot of things coming out into the open. Even I myself realized, actions and habits and thoughts and things that I said that were just kind of turning a blind eye to some of these issues that were going on, and needing to make a true change in that. It's just a whole year of awareness and resilience. So, how do we build that on an everyday basis? Now, the type of resilience that I'm talking about is the type of resilience that will get you through these huge traumatic events, but on the larger scale. But these are things, the resilience I'm talking about is how you respond or how you react to maybe the little things that happen during your day. So these again are just taking it one day at a time and using actionable items every single day that build confidence and resilience. And let me tell you, everybody loves a good plot twist. Am I right? You know the feeling that you get when you're watching what seems like a predictable, a safe, good old feel good movie, or you're reading a comfy book and you're at the part where you pretty much guess what's going to happen next. You might turn to your partner or your friend and be like, watch, so and so is going to fall in love. So and so is going to realize that this girl was the one for him, or, she, or this guy was the one for them, and la 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 la. We can guess what the ending is going to be. But then, bam, out of nowhere, an insane plot twist happens that just freaking blows your mind, right? Your popcorn is out of your mouth because your jaw is on the floor. Your eyes are about to pop out of your head. It's like, what the heck? And funny enough, it's kind of like that in real life, except it's not really funny and it really kind of hurts. And not necessarily like a physical ouch pain, but more of like a swift punch to the gut, oof, kind of pain, like, oh, crap. That really took me by surprise. So, for example, let's say you wake up, you absolutely dominate your morning routine. Hashtag who's the boss. You're feeling good. You're on schedule. The kids are dressed. They're fed. They're ready to go. You're having an amazing hair day. Then, boom, flat tire. Or you spill coffee on that amazing new blouse that you just broke out. Your kid throws up on the way to school, or your boss smacks you in the face with a huge project that needed to be done like yesterday. You get the point. These are the things that I call plot twists in your day. And for me personally, I realized that I was living the majority of my life reacting to these so called plot twists. And all it took was for one little, little thing to completely throw me off track mentally, physically, emotionally. I mean, something I could have spilled coffee on my shirt in the morning and it would have caused me to miss my spinning cycle at 6 o'clock in the evening, because my whole day, which would have just gone down the tube, because my resilience to those little tiny plot twists in your day was non existent. I really have to say it was non-existent. So I ask you, do you respond or do you react? I lacked the confidence I needed to be able to handle the little curveballs that life threw at me. And when it did, it absolutely just killed my energy. It spiked my anxiety and it took one heck of a ride on my health mentally and physically. So, therefore, you can imagine when the really huge things happened in my life, it was like I really would. I completely crumbled like an Oreo in milk, just dissipated. I mean, really, it was non-existent. I mean, I had no backbone. I had no foundation. Anything could shake me, anything could break me, and I was so freaking tired of it. I could not live like that anymore. I was literally killing myself. So I figured out, what do I have to do to start to be able to shift my mindset on how these plot twists or how these bumps in the road are really affecting my day. And the truth is, you have control. And it is truly all about just a real slight tweaking of your perspective that makes a huge difference. But on the flip side of that same coin, it doesn't happen overnight. And it is scary and it is hard. We have been saying things to ourselves. We have been reacting in such toxic patterns over for years and years and years and years that it is our default state that we aren't even aware of how we're reacting. We actually are okay with reacting this way, and we actually justify reacting to these certain situations as a perfectly normal way to react. Think about it. When you're sitting with your friend and you tell them about your day and you're like, that really just freaking pissed me off, they'd be like, yeah, that would piss me off too. So we accept that the way we're reacting to these little pivots, these little plot twists in our day, that it's normal, it's acceptable. When in fact, it's just breeding more negativity. It's breeding more toxicity in your mental state and in your physical state. It's making you more stressed out, which is lowering your immune system. It is making you more anxious, which is leaving you unable to actually cope with anything else that is coming your way. And if you're in a marriage or a relationship, if you have kids, if you work two jobs, if you've lost your job, if you're worried about money, I mean, it just compiles. And it's usually not one thing that is thrown at you. It's everyone says when it rains, it pours, right? So, what is your resilience factor? And resilience is like the backbone. It's like the physical backbone of your mental and emotional state. It is how you stand strong to weather the storm, whether that storm be coffee on your blouse or whether it be a really huge traumatic loss that you are going through. Okay, so that's really what resilience is. And this is an exercise that I want to share with you that I actually do myself, that builds my resilience every single day and also helps you build the confidence that you need to be able to shift your mindset and make huge, huge transformations in your life. So, at the end of the day, what I would like you to start doing, and just try this for a week, but to start to shift your mindset on how we deal with these plot twists, is if you don't journal, this is a great way to start. And this doesn't have to be an hour, 2 hour long experience. This can literally be while you're in the bathroom. Keep like a notebook and a pen there. I know it sounds gross, but give me a break. A lot of things are stored in the bathroom. Get a pen and paper and write before your legs go numb. You feel me? And so what I started doing was, at the end of the day, I would write where my day went, quote unquote, wrong. And I actually even stopped using the word where it all went wrong because, well, you'll see why. But I started using the term plot twists. Okay? Because nobody died. Nobody died. Thank Jesus. It was a plot twist in my day. So I would write and become aware and actually acknowledge when the shift started to happen during my day. Once you become aware and you acknowledge and you look at it and you read it, the next day or the next time that shift starts to happen, you'll be able to pick up on it right away. And then you'll be able to make the conscious choice on how you either react or how you respond to the situation at hand. So the first step in that is becoming aware. So write down where it all happened, where the shift happened in your day. And it can be a paragraph, it can be bullet points, whatever you need to do, just get it out on paper so that you understand where it happened. And it could have even even if you felt a little bit of shit, you know how sometimes you just start to get like that icky type of feeling and then all of a sudden something happens, right? And it's like, dang it, I knew something was going to happen. I felt like something was about to happen, right? That's intuition. It's also the energy that you're putting out into the universe that is manifesting itself. So I urge you, if that's what was going on, what were you thinking about at the time? What was triggering you? Was it you forgot picture money for school day? Was it you're running late because your kid did get sick and now you don't have anybody to help take care of him and you have to stay home or you have to go in late? Were you thinking about something that happened yesterday? Were you thinking about maybe a fight with a friend, a fight with your husband that morning? Is a family member sick? Are you worried about a certain bill? Because all of these things we're usually thinking about, and then like everything has to start with a thought, right? And then the feelings start to come in and then it starts to manifest. And then you start to put that energy out into the universe. And then boom, coffee spilled. Or boom, you get every freaking red light. Or you get to work and you're out of supplies, or the laptop in the conference room isn't working, or your slides aren't pulling up, or that video you inserted is all sideways and wonky, and it's all that negative energy. So those are like the type of different plot twists, the different twists and turns that I am talking about. Write those down. Then step 2, write down your initial reactions. I'm not even going to say what was your initial response, because 9.9 times out of 10, we are not responding. We are simply reacting because of anxiety, stress, and emotion that we just kind of let control us. So bringing awareness to that, seeing seeing the patterns, like, are you always immediately frustrated? Do you immediately cuss? Are you immediately rude to everybody else? Do you carry on that bad attitude? Do you get over it pretty quickly? Do you have bad habits where then it's like, oh my God, F this, I'm going to go have a cigarette, or I need a drink, or, I mean, not that you're drinking in the middle of the day, but your mind is already like, okay, I swore I was going to cut off for wine for a month and it's day 2 and I'm already going to chug that damn bottle that's been sitting in my cabinet. Like, where does your mind go? What is your initial reaction? Does it drive your entire day? Because for me, it did. And it was so awful. It was so childish that I let something so small disrupt an entire beautiful day. So describe it in 3 words or less, or if you need to throw a couple adjectives in there, go right ahead. But just describe your initial reaction. Then step 3 is I want you to go ahead and describe what your desired response would have been. Isn't that just a peaceful word, respond, versus react? Like, react is just so aggressive and responding is just so graceful. So write the 3 ways that you desire to respond, or what your desired response is. Was it, I wish I immediately could just take a deep breath and just say an affirmation, say a prayer, really calm down, calm my heart rate down, maybe laugh at the situation, or just learn to go with the flow. Just have a more graceful approach and say, you know what? I got a flat tire. I'm going to be late for work. I cannot control these outside factors, but I can control how I respond to this. And that is just with poise. And there's no reason to be upset because there's nothing I can do about it. And things are going to work out probably even better. Like, this happened for a reason. So write down the 3 ways that you desire to respond to in these types of situations. Because again, you're bringing awareness. You are bringing awareness to how you're actually feeling and reacting versus how you want to respond. And when you put that out into the universe, again, when you're thinking about this situation and how I want to respond, you are cultivating that energy. You are building that awareness, which builds that confidence to say, when you are starting to feel that shift again, immediately your desired response is going to be what you think about. And then you have a choice. Do I react? I have a choice to just fly off the handle and react, or I have a choice to take a deep breath, say a little mantra, say a little affirmation, all is well. And once you have the choice, then the choice is yours. Instead of just letting emotion control you and reactions control you and anxiety control you. So when you write these things down, when you put it on paper, when you put it out there, it's going to come back to you. So when you're done with those 3 steps, the fourth thing I want you to do, and this is really the factor that builds resilience, is I want you to think about all those things that happen during the day. And I don't care how hard it is for you, because it will be hard in the beginning, especially if you're still dealing with feelings of frustration or anger or irritable about that certain situation. And it just led me maybe into so many other things that happen during your day. But I want you to find from those initial points of those plot twists what the silver lining is. What opportunity did it bring to you that day that you needed, but maybe were not necessarily aware that you needed? For instance, your kid gets sick on the way to school. You don't have anybody to watch them. You have to stay home with them all day. You could spend the day freaking frustrated, angry, anxious that your project or your proposal wasn't going to be on time. Maybe there was paperwork that was due that day and it's not going to get done and it's going to cause this chain reaction, this, that, this, that. You can spend your whole entire day wallowing in this negative energy and being anxious about the next day. And then when the next day you go to work, you're like the Fast and the Furious trying to catch up. We all know that feeling. And it's almost like a cycle that happens for a few days, all stemming from one situation. But what was the silver lining? Maybe it was you got to spend some much needed time with your kid. Your kid was able to be at home and have the comfort of mom or the comfort of dad. You were able to just put the mommy hat on and just be the mom for the day and be nurturing and be comforting and take care of what really matters, which is your little sick one. That's an opportunity. Maybe you hadn't been spending enough time with your kids, right? Or maybe they've needed you more so, but life has been so crazy and so busy that you haven't taken the time that you usually take or that you needed to take. And so this is like life just, if you're not going to slow down, we're going to slow down for you. So you got to spend an entire day with your kid, and your kid got to feel the comfort of mom, the comfort of dad, the comfort of that person who is there, that they know that there's safety, that they know that they're protected, that they're going to be taken care of, right? We all know that feeling. And maybe you got some things done around the house. Maybe you have been wanting to clean that linen closet out for months and months and months, but when you get home, there's no time, or the weekends, there's no time. But maybe today or that day, you were able to clean that closet out. So you were able to get something done off your list. What were the silver linings in these plot twists? If you went to work and your boss gave you a project that he needed done, 10 hours ago, what was the opportunity in that? Were you able to work with different people? Did you meet new people? Were you able to network with different people to get the job done? Were you able to access and activate your time management skills, organization skills, or maybe certain skills that you hadn't been using? Did you learn something new? Right? Did you get that project and execute it? And you were like, heck yeah, I literally did that in 2 hours. That's a 10-hour project, and I got it done flawlessly in 2 hours. Hi, that builds your confidence, right? Because it forces you into a situation that's uncomfortable, and it forces you to do things. It forces you to be able to use your natural abilities and your natural responses. And did you do it with a positive attitude and a discovery attitude, of a curious attitude of like, okay, what do I get to learn? This is a cool project. Like, even though, yeah, I'm a little stressed because it has to be done, by noon and it's 10. But I'm going to get it done as best as I can. And also, this is really kind of a cool project that I get to do. And maybe you got to meet some other people in different departments. Maybe you were able to work with different leadership, or other leadership saw your project and were so impressed with that it put you up for a promotion, or it was something else that you could add to your brag binder, something else you could add to your resume even. What is the silver lining? What are the opportunities in the plot twist? Okay, a flat tire. Maybe life was going at a pace that was too much for you and you needed to slow down. right? Or maybe that flat tire saved you from, like, God forbid you had been on a highway and had a complete blowout. Or, you were in an area, or it was at a time of day where you didn't have help, where you couldn't get help, or your kid was stranded somewhere. I mean, there's really so many positive things that can come out of these little plot twists. And when you start to focus on those positive silver linings, guess what? Guess what is happening right then and there? Your mindset is shifting. And if you think about that, that seems like it's like a little shift. It's just a different perspective. Okay. And so your mindset is actually literally shifting in that moment. And then all of that positive energy comes in. And then all of that positive manifestation comes in. And the universe around you just starts to feel really good. And your confidence builds because you're not shaken down. The storm isn't crushing you. It's making you stronger. And you're like, yeah, I still feel really good. I'm still going to dominate my day. This can't break me. I'm a boss, right? We start to have that attitude instead of the one of, woe is me and self-loathing. And this day just isn't going how I wanted. And why does this always happen to me? And I can't ever do anything right. And nothing ever freaking works out for me. I mean, I hope you can hear it in my voice. I can feel it because I'm saying it, but the difference in energies, right? One just keeps you so stuck and literally swirling the toilet bowl, and one just rises you to a whole new level. And all it is simple little shifts in your mindset. And when you practice this stuff, when you reflect on this stuff, every night, every day, your confidence builds, your resilience builds every single day till it becomes unstoppable, till you become unbreakable and unshakable, baby. Shake and bake. It is uncomfortable at first because we are so defaulted to feel frustration and to feel irritable. We see it in the movies. We see, when someone's just having a horrible year or a horrible day. We hear about it on the radio. We hear about it on the news. We hear about it from our own friends and family. And we participate and we say, hey, it's okay to feel like that. Yeah, you're justified for feeling like that. Okay, maybe they're justified for feeling like that, but is that an acceptable reaction? Or do we want acceptable responses? What is it that we want to do to build our lives in such a way that it creates our dream life? Because you can't live your dream life and you can't make your dream money and have your dream partner going around in this negative, empty space. You have to become resilient. You have to know how to cope with things that come your way, because let me tell you, it doesn't matter how much money you have in the bank. It doesn't matter how happy you are. Life still comes at you, and it comes at you pretty damn hard sometimes. So how are you responding to that? Or are you just reacting? And it's okay. We're not all saints. We're not all going to respond the exact same way. There's things that are going to take us down maybe a notch or two, but it's not going to take us all the way down like it might do now. So these are things that I encourage you to practice, just like habits. This is a habit that supports you. It builds your awareness, it builds your self-discovery, so that when the next time life throws a curveball at you, you are able to nip it in the bud right away. You are able to recognize a shift is changing. And now I have a choice of whether I'm going to let this take me over or whether I'm going to take over it. I hope that this episode blessed you today. I hope that you really do. And try it out for 3 to 7 days. You will feel such a difference in your life. And let me tell you, people around you will notice that. My husband notices it in me. I notice it in myself. So does my family. They're like, Megan, wow, usually you would have been so like off the rails about that. And I'm like, nope, I'm good. And I'm, not even drinking. But for real, it really changes the backbone and it allows me to create more transformation and have more amazing opportunities and be more dedicated and work even harder at the life that I absolutely love that I am living. Have a wonderful, empowered week. I love you guys. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. Have a great week.